Check, check. Can you hear me? All right. So it turns out my microphone got switched at the recent update. Cringe. What's up, people? Okay. All right. Oh no, they found him alive. Well, it's a complicated one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me put out a tweet and we'll get started. What is this? I just had a friend send me something. I'm not even gonna play whatever the rest of that is. Oh. That was Oy, oy, oy. All right. Anyway. Still can't find the member button. Are you on mobile? But, oh boy. Okay, so let's talk about a YouTuber, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about a YouTuber. All right, and if you hear any buzzing in the background, that is my, it's my AC, because it's hot as fuck out right now. But let's talk about a guy who I've done a video on a long time ago. That video is out of date and also needs to be updated because I got some of the history wrong. Very minute things, like I called a NLAW and a Stinger missile the same thing, or I basically mislabeled what version of a man-pad the Mujahideen used when they were fighting the Russians in the 1980s. And if you might think, Diesel, that sounds like a bit of an idiosyncratic thing to complain about, well, you'd be correct. But history people are annoying, so that's why. So we're going to be talking about a guy called Lord Miles. And if you're unfamiliar with Lord Miles made his fame for being a 4chan user who said that he was going to go to Kabul around a time when they were talking about the U.S. military leaving that area, right? So that's what he did. That's what he did. Lord Miles took his dumb British ass to the wonderful land of Afghanistan. And when he was there, he put himself in what he calls a bit of a pickle, right? A bit of a pickle is basically like he was cooped up in like UN headquarters and kept in places that would keep him safe technically, right? But none of which these are places where he should have been, right? He shouldn't have been in any of these places. He shouldn't have been there. He took up a seat. His dumb British ass took up a seat for people who were leaving Afghanistan and leaving their country behind, right? And if you're curious as to whether or not he's actually a lord, No, he did like a sign it on paper type thing. Basically, oh shit, what's that business? The one that Scott Schaefer did a video on, and he was mad fucking cringy about. It was one of those businesses, right, where you buy a plot of land in Scotland and become a lord. So he used that to become a lord, and pretending to be royalty, he basically went around and became very close with the Taliban and other such people. Um, I actually like Miles. I think he's a very personable guy. Miles and I, before his kidnapping, spoke in DMs. And Miles is a really nice guy. I don't agree with a lot of Miles's opinions. For example, I'm not religious. Established titles, thank you. I'm not religious. I respect religious people, but that's not me, right? Miles would say stuff like, Kabul is safer than Brooklyn at night. And I can tell you that is so fucking incorrect, right? That is super incorrect for a lot of reasons. The violent crime rate in Kabul is way higher. The largest exporting crop from Afghanistan after the Taliban took over was opium. Despite killing people who are opium addicts, they export opium through the mountain passages between Afghanistan and, hold on, I don't want to get this country wrong. It's on the tip of my tongue. All right. So, it was through Iran that they send these through, right? So they send it through Iran, and as a result, there have been border clashes between Taliban, Afghani National Guard, and Iranian soldiers on the border. And part of the reason that happens is because of the opium trade, right? That's where the Taliban get a lot of their money. All this to say, it's not a place that you want to be, right? I've spoken to people who are soldiers, and obviously they're like upset with what happened, right? But Miles was there at the center of it when it all went down, right? So I disagree with Miles on a lot, but I do respect his mission where he's like, I want to show people what life is like in these places because what people think about these places isn't necessarily true. And there is a bit of an angle to it where I don't know why, but like really it's strange. Christian fundamentalists really like Islamic extremists, and I don't know why, because the hardest of hardest Christian fundamentalist is like 100 times less violent than a Taliban militant, which I know is not a shocking take. It turns out that the guy armed with things and now given a desk job after the revolution in their country has ended is clearly not going to be that stable of an individual, but okay. So yeah, Lord Miles has found out the hard way, and he's been we have more brain cells than Miles, I think. So Miles in DMs to me expressed his wishes to go back to Afghanistan. And it was on that trip back to Afghanistan where Miles was arrested. Now, Miles, in good faith, shared with me what I think is the reason he got arrested for, of which I will not discuss because I don't want Miles to die if he's alive. But just so we know, I know maybe, possibly, why he is currently in custody with the Taliban. And the information he shared with me, for me to say this, is I'm not even sure if it's classified. That's what I'm saying, right? But if Miles is a Fed, he's a security risk. And in case you're curious, before he got arrested, I did ask him if he worked for MI6. That is not a joke. I did ask him if he worked for foreign intelligence. He would not answer the question straight up. He would not be honest about it. Which, I mean, on one part, it kind of adds to the mystique of him, but then on the other, it's like not good. How illegal is it the thing he did on a scale of 1 to 10? How illegal is it in the States, I should say? Oh, how illegal is it in America? If it is what I think, and Miles came to America, he would be a hero. So... So that's that. But there was an update recently about Miles. And I'm pulling it up now. We have a couple of other little things, but the Miles one I want to talk about because I actually like foreign policy because I'm weird. There we go. We'll pull up some of that. Anyway, there was a post on 4chan regarding this, right? Here we go. Shout out to Nani, the mod, for getting a bunch of this stuff and corroborating it. She is an absolute unit and very awesome of her. There we go. Pulled all that up. Homie set a Quran on fire or something. He'd be dead already if he did that. But then also the thing that, if possible, that he did, I would be not happy. It's just not a good situation. I'm being deliberately cagey for obvious reasons. Because you never know. I never know if Muhammad and his brother Muhammad are sitting down in an office in Kabul with their AK-47s at their side, watching the FPS Diesel stream, waiting for me to fuck up because they have me on like a list of peoples of interest, right? I don't know. Better safe than sorry, right? I like Liquid Death, okay? Not even a sponsor whatsoever. I like the Lime one better. But if they want to pay me money, I'll talk about it more openly. Public lap dance in Thailand bad? I really wish I could say. Let's say he comes back and he's safe. I'll tell you what the DM said, okay? Or if we get confirmation that he's been killed, I'll tell him. I'll say what happened, okay? So... I'm gonna work this back, right? So this is from the Taliban Public Relations Department commentary. I don't know if this account is real or not. Okay? Are you gonna delete the stream after this? No, this one will stay up. It'll be public. Anybody can view this one. Right? Tell us when he's safe or in the ground. Yeah. I will. So this one was not very reassuring, but a lot of this information about Miles has come out in the last few hours. Despite the department's continuous assurances that Lord Miles was alive... So he was alive. So these guys are talking... If this is really an actual, real... Taliban account, and they're talking about him in the past tense, he is dead. But I don't know if this account is real or not. Okay? I'm just saying that is what this account said. And I'll pull up this account. We can go through it in a bit. Hopefully there's nothing bad in here. There probably is, but oopsie if real. Okay, so we got a couple of... Let's go to a 4chan one. Oliver Gia, who has lots of really great tweets about the Japan-North Korea relations, foreign policy person. Would they even have an account? That's the question, right? So there was discussion that Lord Miles was having his release negotiated by an NGO. And if you don't know what an NGO is a non-government organization. So think like Doctors Without Borders or other such similar things, right? A company like that, which like negotiates, saving nationals or something like that, would be the one that would be negotiating his release, right? And anyway, he said, you'll supposedly hear an update about Miles Rutledge and his current state in less than an hour and a half from this Twitter account. All I can say is they're going to get him out. There's still no ETA. So they went on 4chan, and they said, this is a friend of Lord Miles to give an update. 4 months in Taliban custody. He's treated very well. Has several servants. I don't believe that. Loads of movies on his laptop. Goes on picnics. And has tea with the Taliban cabinet government. Right? He still loves Afghanistan. If you worry about Lord Miles, you do not know Lord Miles. I have insider information about him and have control of his Twitter. To prove this, I'll tweet from his account, giving a general update at 2000 UK time tomorrow. I will take questions here and provide answers where possible. Lord Miles does not know about this. How long has he been in custody? 4 or 5 months now? 4 or 5 months in Taliban custody, right? So we were talking about this a little bit in the Diesel Zone, which is the Discord server. And if you'd like to join it, here is a link to join it, right? There's a link if you have not joined the server. But we were discussing, or I was discussing, what the specifics of his incarceration would look like. So I don't think he would be treated like a traditional political prisoner. If they did any research on Lord Miles after he was incarcerated, they would have found out basically that he's just a guy, unless he's not a guy and he's been lying to the internet this whole time. Lord Miles doesn't know about this. Ain't real reassuring. Yeah. So I don't think he's got servants or going on picnics. There's a higher chance that he is engaging in hard labor and the things that you would expect to see in Taliban judicial circles, right? Hard labor, physical punishment. Shit. This is not a good one, but I made a joke about it in the Discord. There's a very good chance that Lord Miles has been working hard, bending over for his Taliban captors. And you might say, Diesel, well, aren't they a really masculine society that would never do something like that? You know, being gay is not appropriate. Yeah, well, okay. That's what happens on paper and not what happens in reality, because torturers and captors in countries that are at war, which the Taliban are not in control of their entire country. Yeah, historically, of course, right? Let's say you have a political prisoner like Lord Miles, right? What you're going to do is try and break him. And that is a great way to break a Christian British straight man. Okay? That's not even completely impossible. That is a very real possibility that has happened. Assuming that he is alive, that is on the table, right? This is not a place that conforms to Geneva Conventions. It's not even a Geneva suggestion. I'm sure they haven't even gotten a paper from Geneva. Right? They got superior mental gymnastics to make it okay for them. Well, like I said earlier, their largest export is opium, and the consumption of opium is a crime that can be punishable by death in their country. Okay? Like, it's a land of oxymorons, right? Before the U.S. government left, there was a democratic government in place in Kabul. That government was completely propped up by the United States military, providing security guarantees to that government. Without that there is not the same kind of law and order that we are used to in the western part of the world. Okay, that's the reality of it. He's getting them cock meat sandwiches. Well, if you want to label it like that. Right? So why am I bringing that up? The point of me saying that is so that way, and I know none of you are this type of person, but let's say this type of person kind of like stumbles upon this stream, right? The kind of person who's like, oh, the West has fallen. They don't understand the traditional masculine values. Well, the values that the Taliban eschew are not what they follow, right? And the degree of punishment for committing acts that are haram are very bad, right? And Afghanistan is in a very precarious situation right now with a new young government, untested, well, not necessarily uneducated, right? A lot of the mujahideen that are older and still alive are actually pretty educated. But they Toast got game ended. Yeah. Did you not see Harold and Kumar escape from Guantanamo Bay? But the point is that Afghanistan, despite having new rulers and having a new rule of law, does not mean that it is like free of crime or free of war. Afghanistan is notoriously hard to police because of the mountainous terrain. The most powerful military on earth, the United States military, could not police it. The Taliban are not going to be able to police it because all of these communities inside those pockets in the mountains have their own ethnic identity, and they might disagree with what the Taliban say. To expand on that, there is the possibility of water wars between Iran, Afghanistan, and all those other places, right? So to say that the place that Miles is in is a powder keg is an understatement, right? That is a complete understatement to how possibly bad it could be, right? But this is something you wouldn't know unless this is like a hobby or like something that you read up on, right? Because Americans, the second the U.S. military left, they don't know what's going on in Afghanistan now, aside from the fact that the Taliban are in control, and maybe they saw the photos of the Taliban in those like bicycle boats with RPGs. It's not literally that all the time, but to say that it is as secure as like a Western European nation is not. I mean, there's a reason that most of the world's governments do not respect the legitimacy of the Taliban and their government and rule of law, right? I mean, Jesus Christ, right before the United States military got there, we had the USSR go there in the 80s and also lose, right? Geopolitics with Diesel. And yeah, I'm doing a little bit of an education stream right here, but that is a lot of what the cultural angle is, right? These are the big overarching geopolitical implications of where that country is right now, right? And also why that country is the way it is, right? And this isn't to say there aren't beautiful, amazing people who live in Afghanistan and that there isn't a beautiful, vibrant, ancient culture there. All those things are there, and that makes it very interesting and an engaging place. But it also describes why a lot of it is so, like, fucking chaotic, right? So maybe he does love Afghanistan still, right? I guess so. Learning more than a history class gave with Diesel. I also want to touch back on Guantanamo recently, because I recently hopped on a Kristen Ark stream, and one of the commentary Spurgs was watching, and he got really annoyed when I said that just because black sites exist doesn't mean that they're trying to upend the national security of a nation. But I'll get back to that later. For some reason, people really don't understand the reason we couldn't win the war in Afghanistan is because a standard military isn't made to clear out insurgents in small, well-connected population. And not to mention, Afghanistan, the mountains are filled with caves, right? It's where that whole stereotype of Osama bin Laden being hidden in a cave somewhere came from, right? Paddle boats, bicycle boats, paddle boats, same thing. You fucking row it by bicycling. All right. So here is the update on the Lord Miles account. Right? This is a friend of Lord Miles to give an update. 4 months in Taliban custody. Again, treated well. He's, all that stuff. I don't know the term, at least not in English. A black site is like a place that exists that doesn't hold itself to the rule of law of the nation, right? So Guantanamo Bay is a place where we hold alleged terrorists without due process or trial for undetermined amount of time for no reason. One of the things that when Barack Obama came into office, he said, I will close Guantanamo Bay. And he didn't, by the way. But they basically use it for the unlawful imprisonment of individuals. And it would be unlawful by U.S. standards, which is why it's in Cuba, right? Guantanamo Bay famously shown, it's called Camp David in reality, but it's famously shown off in Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. So there you go. All right. He speaks like he's on holiday. He's sunbathing, playing TF2, writing his second book, reading T.E. Lawrence. Excuse me 1 second, chat. I'm getting a call. All right, excuse me about that. Anyway, what else did he say? He speaks like he's on holiday. Reading T.E. Lawrence, which I think that's Lawrence of Arabia, the Lawrence of Arabia. He made friends with the Taliban he's with. He says he's been invited to some weddings. He went to the Afghan for the 5th time to open a gold mine. We reckon he'll succeed. That's not what he told me in DMs. We believe we'll see him in a month or two. From what we've heard, he's having fun, and the Taliban are very kind and fair. Lord Miles will have an excellent, positive story to tell upon returning home, stating, I haven't been this relaxed in years. Lovely to get away from it all. This is not... I don't believe this for a fucking second. He's planning his next few trips already. We were concerned he would stop goofing off, but he apparently said, while back, washed up, out-of-touch journalist nobodies has heard they're always preying on my downfall. I'm only getting started, cowards. Okay. I will say there is an extreme lack of foreign policy and war reporting going on, but did Lord Miles go as a missionary? There's probably a part of it that is like that. I was kidnapped. It was so much fun. He also expressed his intent to hike the length of the Afghan Wakhan to the Chinese border on his next trip to Afghanistan, which nobody has done since 1947. Taliban voice. The Taliban are very kind and fair. Okay. When we first made contact with Miles, we asked, "Are you okay?" And he replied with, "Lovely to get away from it all." That's baloney. Finally, Lord Miles loves his followers and can't wait to be back to tell everyone his story. Next tweet in a week or two will tell everyone further info. Miles does not know about these tweets, but we feel responsible to tell the world he's all right and carrying on the British adventurer spirit. I don't think most people would say that's a good thing to carry on the British adventurer spirit, right? And then it ends with Lord Miles will sell his exclusive story to a journalist upon his return. DM him your offer on Twitter. He doesn't know about these tweets, but he'll see it when he's home. To be paid upon his arrival. Highest bid wins. Minimum 5k euros. How different would this be if Lord Miles was a woman or LGBTQ? So I recently watched, she's from Eastern Europe, so she wasn't American, but I watched an Eastern European woman journalist travel to Afghanistan, and she came back fine, obviously, because the video's on YouTube. It depends. Obviously, this Eastern European woman who is not Muslim had to wear a hijab, but it all depends, right? Or she had to, like, cover her face when she went into public. LGBTQ, he would be LGBT gone, okay? I do believe that he doesn't know about the tweets, at least. Yeah, if he's dead, he wouldn't know about them. Lord Miles is having tea with the Taliban leaders on a daily. See, if he's as, like, close with the Afghan leadership as this makes it out to believe, this is, like, insane. This is like they have their pet European monkey hanging around with them. You know what I mean? So, let's take a second to analyze this photo. So we have a bunch of Taliban. I assume these are security personnel, right? And somebody had said that this guy back here, the one in the gray, outfit, is pointing a gun at him behind this fella's back. But Miles is probably so deeply entrenched there, they don't need to point guns at him to get him to comply. So I don't think he's being held at gunpoint for this picture, okay? Just FYI. I saw some people saying that. There's a possibility he's being held at gunpoint, but yeah. And remember, this is a reused photo. Yeah, this is a reused photo. I can actually pull up, because somebody was able to get the metadata. Right? The metadata has... it's literally a 1 megapixel camera. Oh shit. And yeah, it doesn't have any more information on it than that, but that's it. Oh my gosh. All right. So after that, there was a conversation between Mudahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, and your fellow Arab, right? And they 50,000. Imagine your entire existence as a human being is completely hung up in the amount of likes a tweet gets. Right? Like just imagine this doesn't get 50,000 likes. He'd be fucked. So here's his DM conversation with Mudahar. Bro, I do really want to see what can be done about Miles. I think he's honestly missing out there. Could be dead, but I'm down to go over there. I don't think he is, to be honest. Wait, you'd go with? I'm down. No way. Oh, sorry, Miles, you ain't coming back. And he's right. We're actually waging our lives on how many likes we could get on Twitter, not his. This is too much. This is too much. This is too much. I don't like this. But it's funny. like just the amount that hangs in the balance of how many likes a tweet gets is insane. Hold on. All right. This is hypothetical, right? Let's say I have the power to save Miles right now. Instead of me putting any power behind that, I'm going to leave it up to you. Do I FPS Diesel save Miles? I want to go home, but the Taliban wants to keep me as their glorified pet. They said if this post gets 50,000 likes, they'll let me go. Please like and share. And it's him holding a sign saying that. Oh no, I lost my chat window. Damn it. I gotta open it up again. Buy mana potion to save Miles. I like how it's 50-50 right now. 50-50. Oh, you guys want to save Miles. You guys are Miles lovers. You want to save Miles. I should also say that Miles at one point went to you guys. Actually, I can pull up Miles' channel. We'll watch some of it. All right. So this just in, the FPS Diesel community has decided to save Miles. He chose to go over. Let him figure it out. I'll call on my boys. We're going to get Miles out of there. I will say this. It's not like the UK government is expending any resources to go save his dumb ass, right? I do know about the archive of our own stuff, yes. Hold on. Let's pull up Lord Miles YouTube. All right.
Tiny.
So he's really trying to make it as a creator. And he's got a great face for thumbnails. I gotta say it. And then Slaw with the fucking 5 gifted. Thank you for that, Slaw. I appreciate it. I will also say, right, it's like there was a point in time where I wanted to do war journalism, like do what Miles does, right? I wanted to work for Vice News back in the day. I wanted to be a Vice News journalist. When they were cool, when Vice was like really cool and stuff, I really loved that stuff. And I have this urge, and even now I have this urge, this want to do stuff like that. And obviously it's incredibly dangerous, right? All right. Who's that one dude who made up working for the military and made him own an illegal PMC in Afghanistan to torture people? And yeah. That was when Vice was good, right? There used to be a time when Vice had so like they did the it was like a travel series kind of thing, or like the Vice's guide to blah blah blah, and they would go to places like not Monroe. That was like a city in the country. It was a place in Africa. Right. But I've been really impressed because there's a lot of really good reporting on Ukraine. There's a lot of bad reporting as well. Don't get me wrong. But there's also a lot of good reporting. And that stands out to me because it's what I wanted to do. It's really what I want to do, which makes it sound... Didn't Vice just file for bankruptcy? A portion of them did, yes.
As you know, guys, today...
Okay, so here he is. I joined a Taliban parade in Afghanistan. Just came in. Was it a real kidnapping or a fake one? It's real. He's really kidnapped.
It's the anniversary of the Taliban takeover. So it's been exactly 1 year. And guess where it was last year? Right here as well, during the takeover of Kabul from the Taliban. So it'd be nice to see a contrast, and there's rumors that a military parade's going on. But there's also...
Disclaimer, we are independent journalists, just filming what we see. None of the viewpoints in this video are my own. What kind of statement is that, Miles? None of the viewpoints in this video are my own. They're coming out of your mouth.
further concerns about Daesh, ISIS, is going to do an attack there. So let's go see what's happening today, and we'll go explore a little bit, maybe see some journalists, interview some Taliban. I think that'll be a perfect opportunity. So what we're going to do is head into town. We'll be picked up by a driver, and we're going to go to the US Embassy, which has a little square around it. I think that's the most likely area to have a Taliban kind of meet and greet.
Me meeting up with the Taliban Mujahideen.
Don't know if it will let me film, but let's go and have a look. It's closely with the Taliban parade, as you do.
Oh, what a lovely parade!
It goes on for ages and ages. I have to emphasize this, guys, so I can't condone this message, of course. And I really do like America. It's one of my favorite countries, so I don't condone this message.
I don't condone the message that just says kill Americans. I don't condone it. I'm not a pro getting rid of Americans fan, all right?
Bit. Oh, these crowds are huge. Are you guys excited? Wow, you look scared. Everyone looks scared.
Wow, everyone looks scared. This guy.
Everyone has common sense apart from me.
Are those fireworks? No, those are bombs.
We're dressed apart, so let's go and have a look. 1 year, and there's been bombings almost every single few weeks. Now it's up to...
Oh yeah, those are yeah, that was a joke. I didn't realize it was actually bombings. Anyway.
Daily bombings. So some of the high political figures have been bombed in the capital, in their own homes, and I'm guessing this celebration right outside the American embassy, with all the media around, they will attempt an attack. The very question is, will it be dissuaded? Damn, it's got nice equipment here. Very jealous. What did the US leave behind? Little flag market, and this is the American embassy right here. That's a very good looking man.
No, Lord Miles thinks a concentration camp is where you go to learn better.
Zindabad, Islam Zindabad, Islam Mara Zindabad, Taliban Zindabad.
Very good, man. See, very good stuff.
This is insane. This is so fucking insane. This guy is built different. Like, clearly what Miles does is very stupid, right? Because, like when you're a journalist, you can actually get training on how to do, like, how to survive in a kidnapping situation, how to, like, advocate, who to call, what to do. A lot of war reporters learn battlefield triage and all that stuff, so they go over so they're not, you know, fucking idiots. But Miles doesn't have any of that. He never learned any of that. So he's learning firsthand what it's like to be a political prisoner, right? With no experience. But I have to admire his sheer enthusiasm towards this, right?
Very good, my friend. Thank you.
shout out to the U.S. government for leaving behind all this hardware for the Taliban to modernize their military with.
Very good. What a day. Crazy.
Look at that. Look at that. That truck has a Punisher logo on it, but it's being controlled by the Taliban. All right?
Guy's got a rocket launcher. Ooh.
Oh, look, the CIA is in chat. Oh, man, I must have gotten too close. I'm genuinely wondering if he's actually having a good time. Yeah, when he acts like this, modernize is a very strong word. Yeah, they can't use most of it. It's not like they got training. But let's be real. They were using a lot of rifles from the 80s, and now they have stuff that's much more recent. That stuff makes a difference. Same thing for modern body armor.
My friend, take a picture, of course. These boys are wild, aren't they? Be goofy. This is not even a military parade, they're just goofing off, right? What are we chanting? What are we chanting?
Just like in Islamic.
Oh, Islamic chants. Okay. What a day. I knew there'd be a military parade. He's got all the US gear on.
This is wild. This is so fucking wild. This guy is something else, man.
Oh, look at this. Guy's got a PKM over there. This guy's got a rocket launcher. That's some US military gear. I like how
that truck is definitely US military hardware.
He's got a rocket launcher.
Yeah, that is.
That's some US military gear. I like how if something goes wrong, he's just going to shoot a rocket. They just don't care.
So loud.
I can't condone this message, of course, and I really do like America. It's one of my favorite countries, so I don't.
He's not an American hater, guys. All right. There's quite a bit here. 48 hours homeless in New York City. Well, okay, so.
Pick up. Captain Alex, we are coming to your street. This is the Tiger Mafia's chopper.
So he is in the sequel to Who Killed Captain Alex. Now, by the way, because of this, all right, he went to Uganda.
Captain Alex is coming. Stay tuned. Please don't miss. Full of actions.
So we're on the way to Hollywood, and it is the movie-producing powerhouse of Uganda. You might know it from Who Killed Captain Alex.
Man, the man is killing us, man.
Over.
Bless the bomb over.
I'm going to see the filming of. Hey guys, so we're just right outside the studios, right here. Beyond this door is a magical place. I'm even going to soy face it.
He's soy
Let's
facing.
walk inside.
There is such an unbridled joy to him. I like I said, I don't agree with a lot of Miles' opinions, but he is just such a lovable buffoon. He's like fucking Mr. Bean in Uganda, okay? You can't help but love him.
And we'll see what magical stuff they do on a fraction of a budget. Let's see.
He's wearing a shirt that said Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh, look at this place.
Okay?
Let's close the door.
Yeah, I'll make a difference.
No one else can kill Captain Alex. There we go. Lovely. They've got a little glory hole. Nah, I'm joking. Let's go, man. Oh, hello.
Look
boss.
at that shirt that he's wearing. Oh man. I'm sorry guys. I like him. What can I say?
Very good, man. Very good. Say hello to the world.
Hello everyone. This is Wakaoud.
This is what Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
Go on, gangster. Good stuff. Thank God.
He has such like a sheer like kindness to him. It's so fucking strange. Is he like a gun guy or something? He's probably a gun guy a little bit.
You can hear we got some guy welding some new weapons. We got some people doing some kung fu right here.
This is serious.
Miles sure as shit can't make a video.
Of course.
He's a true himbo.
I-L-E-S. I was gonna put a little few kisses, but maybe not.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then you hold that guy.
Of course.
Diesel likes him, you guys. That's why he's flying to the Middle East to save Lord Miles.
I will hold.
What kind of opinions does he have? He's like a massive like Christian fundamentalist type guy, right? So that stuff really matters to him. And I mean, he's not like stupid about it, right? He has been on InfoWars before. He has been there, so I guarantee you Miles has some saucy opinions, that's for sure. I think the one that annoyed me was where he was like, New York is more dangerous than Afghanistan. I was just like, you have no fucking clue what you're saying. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Good man. I love Hollywood, man. You see Hollywood people when they're kind of they're asses, they're mean people when the camera's not filming. Here, they're consistently good people. So remember, guys, come visit.
Is he anti-LGBTQ? I don't fucking know. I mean, I don't know, man. Listen, if you're not like going around like yelling your opinions, if you're not going around being like an Ethan Ralph or Nick Fuentes, you can have whatever opinions. I'll respect it as long as you can articulate it, even if I don't agree with it, right? People like go fucking ballistic over like saucy opinions, and I got plenty of them. Don't get me wrong, right? But it's just like Miles, even if he is that guy, is not the kind of guy where he's gonna like finger wag at somebody for being gay. He's just not that kind of guy. I can't see that. And like I said, I spent a while talking to him in DMs, right? We talked about quite a bit.
This is called Maria, and everyone likes
Maria.
this. This is mostly lovely.
Oh, amazing. Man. Oh, it spins as well. Yeah. My dude. I'm guessing the Ugandan military like that. Let's take it out, man.
So yeah, he's in the movie, right? That's another thing he did.
Tiny.
He where else did he go? He went to Ukraine. I went shooting with the Taliban.
Hey everyone, it's Lord Miles here. I'm in Afghanistan on forged documents going to meet a black market gun runner who was previously wanted by the US for 5 years. I'm also going to hang out with the Taliban. Now, you may ask, why am I in Afghanistan? Well, that's a really good question. During COVID lockdowns, Afghanistan was the only country open without a vaccine mandate, so I just went. Hello, my friend. The UN's right there. They're driving everywhere nowadays. Yeah, no, being tailgated by the UN. Maybe found my Facebook post about the Antichrist. In England, we joke that the UN are the devils, the Antichrist. And if you say you hate the Antichrist, they'll hunt you down somewhere.
See, so this is what I mean, where Miles has crazy opinions, right? Listen, I know it seems a whole lot less fun that, you know, we don't live in the Deus Ex universe. I don't think the United Nations is trying to form a one-world government with its function. I don't think that's what they're here for. I think it's just a forum for nation-states to talk to each other. And sometimes they have a celebrity come and speak nonsense at the fucking rich diplomats, right? But that's a psychotic opinion, and I don't agree with it at all based on my education.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, the
Might
UN
be a
having
very sunny
power.
day
I
in
know,
Afghanistan,
right?
but it's even sunnier because our future is bright. Because what we're doing is we're going to Jalalabad, and Jalalabad, I've heard there's a weapons market. Yeah, M16s, AKs, night vision goggles, all left behind for America. So what I'm going to do is check it out and see what's available in Afghanistan. I'm guessing a very good
Me
price.
and the
At first,
lads going to Jalalabad to pick up some nods.
you get this view along the way. Isn't that beautiful? Jalalabad is sometimes a little bit dangerous, so there's a lot of Daesh there. If you don't know who Daesh is, it's basically ISIS. Now, ISIS, they don't outnumber the Taliban. However, the weapons market, and maybe in some areas, could be quite bad for me. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful, but if you're seeing this footage, it ended up okay. I'm just gonna take a moment to tell you guys about my sponsor, Tendies.
Oh my god, he took a crypto sponsor.
All the traffic is stopped. We've been here for about 20 minutes just to see what's going on. A few people apparently died. I'm trapped between two Taliban groups. And we told these Taliban they don't like foreigners, so yeah, it's not good for me. We'll see how it goes. So it's been about half an hour and we're still waiting. I'm getting a little bit annoyed. I want to see what's going on. I see some cars moving up there. It goes on for miles and miles. There's a guy in the back of the truck just standing there getting a free ride. Free ride. Got all the way to Jalalabad. Now we walk the weapons market, don't we? Oh, kids looking at me. Let's keep the car a little bit further away, just in case. Because if we do something they don't like, we usually run to it. At the same time, they can't
That kid is very interested in what he's up to.
So we thought.
In fact, you know the thing is that a blonde Western European guy standing in the middle of fucking Jalalabad, walking around with the camera, kind of gets attention. Look at that! Literally everybody's staring at him.
Yeah, hide the car a little bit. Let's keep going. So we're just in the gun market right now in Jalalabad. Crazy, you see guns everywhere. From really old weapons to modern stuff like the US. It's a whole market around here. It's everything you can think of. And it's stupidly low prices. When an AK at home, AK-47 at home for a few thousand in a pocket, here, $30. Or
$30 for an AK? Man, those are great prices. Those are great prices. Listen, chat, I'm a bit of a gun guy. These prices are immaculate, okay? I mean, you know, there's only the risk of death and the fact that you can't, like, get it out of the country. But, like, those are great prices.
how much is it?
20,000.
20,000 or $20?
No, 20,000.
Oh, $200. I was about to say $200.
Oh, they're highballing. They're trying to finagle the money out of him as a expensive guy. You know, he's a white guy, so they're gonna try and like, nickel and dime him.
Some casing shells there. Nice little ammo. Everything got some nice scopes. Wow. In the US, these myself are hundreds. Insane. But everything you need here. Looks good on you.
Jesus. literally zero self-preservation. Don't ever do that. Don't ever stand in front of a gun, empty or not. Don't do that.
Really clear scope. That's amazing. How much is this?
14,000.
14,000, so $140 for this. And how much for the ammo?
It's 10.
10 for a magazine?
Yeah.
It's not cheap by Afghan standards, by American standards it's very cheap. My friend over here has a friend with the Taliban, and also some also locals in his home village, which we can go shooting with for a very small cost. So we're just going up to pick them up, and maybe we'll go shooting, maybe I may get thrown into a ditch. But we'll have to see. In life you always have.
You know, Miles, that's brilliant that you have the mentality. It's like, listen, this could either go well or I could end up dead. That's beautiful. You know, a true adventurer's spirit right there.
Take a gamble in order to benefit a little bit. Why do you think I went to Afghanistan in the first place? There's risk and there's reward, but for me there's only reward because it's so much fun. Let's do some shooting with the Taliban.
He seems so happy. He seems so happy. He's got such a warm, inviting smile. I'm sorry, he does. He's got the best, like, himbo energy I've seen ever, okay? We're gonna actually find out that, he was the Count of Monte Cristo.
So we got someone from the Taliban over here. We've also got someone from the local mafia. Lovely people. And we're gonna shoot some weapons. This is your prize right here.
Did you hear that the Taliban are okay with anime?
Well, that's good as long as the anime promotes those masculine values. That's good. I don't think they're gonna like femboys like Astofu though, but that is just me. Taliban must love harem animes. Yeah.
One parade dekha.
One in the chamber ready?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, be careful.
Do it on.
Be careful.
And then
Yeah. Firing.
Fine?
Yeah. Yeah. Be careful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have again another one.
Again?
Yeah.
I like this.
Oh my god, he has no fucking trigger discipline. This guy is so dangerous. The god, it makes me fucking nervous.
Very good. Oh, a lot of fun. Thank you, my friend. Maybe we do one more?
Yeah.
Maybe just one more.
Yeah. You salute me that dinner.
Oh my god, bruh. I can't believe him. Yeah, that moment when the Taliban expresses concern over your lack of trigger discipline. Again, same page, yep. The Taliban kidnapped him, but he has such a nice smile they decided to just take him for picnics and let him go like a lost dog. Yeah, he's got really bad trigger discipline. That was really dangerous. Like, you have no idea how fucking dangerous that was. Let's see. He went to Ukraine. Silly, goofy Lord Miles arrives in Ukraine. Visiting Chernobyl.
Oh, hey guys, how you doing? So, planes and hangars and loads of fields. So right behind me, actually no, right in front of me. Right. Okay.
So this was in the winter. So everything would have slowed down by then. February 14th. Nope, this was before the war. That was before. Will Russia invade Ukraine? I would have been kicked off the rifle team if I behaved like that. I got kidnapped in Kenya. What the fuck? Deadly. Let's click on this.
Tiny speck of land off Brazil, inhabited by thousands
Oh, he went
of the
to
most
Brazil.
venomous vipers in the world.
It will be a particularly painful death. You're going to die screaming. Mata Grande is the mecca for venomous snakes.
The Brazilian government declared the inhospitable rocky terrain off limits to general population.
Off the coast of Brazil is a tiny island no one dares to go. It's been named the most dangerous island in the world, as there's always a deadly snake less than a few feet away, and if they bite you, your organs and flesh will liquefy and you don't make it back to your boat. It's illegal to go there, with many dying attempting the water. Let's see, that's quite the jump actually.
Yeah, prior to the war, visiting Chernobyl was like no big deal. Now? Yeah, not so much.
Okay. So we're just taking off right now.
Look at this fucking hat. Look at this hat. Oh my god.
Boat, and we're gonna go all the way. People are looking at us, having no idea we're about to go to one of the most dangerous islands of the world, Snake Island. They're discussing me over here, calling me incredibly stupid, which I am, but at the same time there's a good spirit about it. So even though the Coast Guard is usually everyone's friend, today they're my enemy because they can't see me going to the island. Of course it's illegal, of course I shouldn't be doing it, but here I am. So I think we're going to be sailing for an hour or two. It's about 20
His
miles
audio's
off the coast,
all
but this is a
fucked
slow
up.
boat.
It's
and
so
these are dangerous
bad.
waters, so we have to be incredibly careful. So I am scared.
What is
I'm a
that
little bit
hat?
nervous.
He's like Indiana Jones, but with like extra autism, okay?
And to
This is his fixation, guys.
doubting myself.
He's stimming right now. That hat is the equivalent of wearing sandals with white tube socks. Greg,
Over here.
you know he'd be wearing the sandals with the socks already. Come on.
I've got all the medieval armor that I need. Now it's obviously a replica, but the metal is thick enough to protect me from the snakes.
You can't under a single word they say.
Oh, damn. I believe in you, man. Thank you. You got this. He dropped the rope. Oh, yeah. I can see his stomach. It's red raw, so he's cut himself, and he's got seawater on it. Hey, oh, he's bleeding quite badly. With a smaller inflatable boat, so he's injured. We gotta fix him up. We gotta look after everyone. Main thing is safety here. Now, I put myself in danger, that's fine, but him with scratched knees and scratched shirt, that's no good. We're getting back, guys. I won't let you fall. I don't want you to let you fall.
Oh.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah, got it. Oh. You okay? You okay?
Yes, I'm good.
Just rest. Take it easy. Take it easy. Man.
Ay.
Do you want? Sorry. Tried to home. My followers are ballsy. They're good men. They're good men. And we broke down on the way back, guys. So we were stuck in the ocean for several hours before someone came and saved us, before we lost all power, basically. We were fine, but we got back to the hotel at 3 a.m. and we set out again at 5 a.m. the next day. Hey, man. Good to see you again.
Hello.
Perfect.
Okay.
So, second day, right?
We are ready for the second trip.
Let's see. I just want to see if he
I
gets to the
feel
island.
great.
There he is. He's made it.
At the same time, it feels like the danger's just begun, really. So, guys, I'm illegally on Snake Island. Now, this is the second most dangerous...
I am illegally on Snake Island. Here I am, inside a volcano. He goes everywhere. I know when I was talking with Miles in DMs, one of the things he wants to do is go to North Korea. But I'd be worried for his safety there, right? Like, this is the kind of guy who would make a mistake, right, in North Korea, and then he'd be fucked. Hello, Eve. Welcome.
Just island of the world, right next to England. So I'm heading up this ridge here, across a dangerous area. The snakes are primarily here, and then from there I reach the lighthouse. So we're gonna put the armor on and it should be good. There goes the boat. Bye, guys. I gotta go for a piss.
Well,
over there, I guess. I guess we have to capture everything on film, right? You know what? This is the most beautiful place I've gone for a piss in.
You can't even make this shit up. This guy is beyond any reason. I love it.
Majestic, man, honestly, majestic. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put on the suit of armor. It's gonna protect mostly my legs, but also every part of my body. Now, snakes usually only go through the legs and usually the torso area too. Sometimes even the neck, but I'm taking a risk here. So I'm gonna put on a few layers. The armor is heavy. 35, 40 kilograms. Now, the only issue is, as well, is that it's extremely hot today, isn't it? You're from here, you're burning, my nose is falling off. I feel like Michael Jackson with the amount of tanning I'm getting. But anyway, it's gonna be a real struggle. So I've got a ton of liquids to keep for myself, but apart from that, it's really gonna have to be me pushing through it. Do you think a snake could bite through this?
no.
I doubt it, yeah. So we'll do the feet first.
He's literally dressing up like a Spanish conquistador on an uninhabited island in South America. Like, what are you talking about? This guy is a brilliant fucking treasure. He is the most British man ever to live. He literally bleeds tea and beans on toast.
So what I'm going to do, guys, just to make it extra tight. That's not too bad to walk in. Okay, so we need to protect the back as well. So this is half protected, but I need to protect here too. So there's only one way to do that, and there's some padding just over here.
Like, you know, you pack a suitcase with clothes, but he's decided to pack a suitcase with a gambeson and armor. What?
I should put these on first.
He's dressed like he's going to the Renaissance fair.
I should have put these on first. Well, actually, can I fit this in? No, because it needs to go underneath. I feel like an idiot. I planned this.
This is what I mean. He's literally Mr. Bean. He's Mr. Bean. Who does this? No sane person would do this.
So many times.
Oh, I don't want to get bit by a snake, so I'm gonna wear some armor on the island.
Few moments later.
Perfect. I've got all the armor on, guys, as you can see here.
Look at that hat. That hat, like, really ties it together. Beautiful.
But to be honest, I'm boiling, and the armor's sticking my back. The people at the armor store, I think it's called the armor store. This armor sucks. It's absolutely terrible, and I overpaid for it. But screw it, I'm gonna go for it. Time to go forward, I guess, guys. So we're gonna do a prayer just before I go on the island, because to be honest, second most dangerous island in the world. High chance of death, and to be honest, I'm not feeling too confident.
Santa Maria, Mãe de Deus, rogai por nós, pecadores. Ave Maria, cheia de graça, o Senhor é convosco. Bendita sois vós entre as mulheres, bendito é o fruto do vosso ventre, Jesus. Santa Maria, Mãe de Deus, rogai por nós, pecadores. Ave Maria, cheia de graça, o Senhor é convosco. Bendita sois vós entre as mulheres, bendito é o fruto do vosso ventre, Jesus. Santa Maria, Mãe de Deus, rogai por nós, os pecadores, agora e na hora de nossa morte. Amém.
Amen.
You can't. He's literally like a fucking conquistador out there.
I am Iron
Look
Man.
at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. This is not a... I can't believe this is a real man. He's a national treasure. For the love of God, someone please get him out of there. The Taliban are treating him poorly, however bad they're treating him, man. Oh my God, this dude, look at this. This is like a scene from a fucking comedy, okay?
This isn't clickbait. I'm on the most dangerous island in the world right now. Only second to England. But I'm going to venture all
Only second to England. That was a good one. I'll say it.
the way to the top, all the way to the peak without getting bitten by a poisonous or venomous snake. Then I'm going to go to the infamous lighthouse where 3 people died. A family sadly passed away from snake bites. Many people have been to this island and very few have gotten out alive, unfortunately. So I'm going to go to the top. Wish me luck. And I can't see the snakes because it's greenery so deep.
He immediately takes it off. No shit.
So I just have to keep walking.
Oh, he's still got it on his legs.
Falls in, and if I fall forward as well, I don't want to die. I can't move. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Okay, I'm not stuck. I need to calm down. Stairs from a 1909 earlier. I hear something. Maybe it's just the wind. Maybe it's just the wind. I don't know if this hat's helping me or not. I think it is. And guys, please like and subscribe. I kind of need it, like, I'm not one of those travel YouTubers. I like to think I'm trying to do better, you know? Every step I go on can be a snake, but everything is sealed up as much as I can. Seems like the Navy's been here recently because look, all this is chopped out, thankfully. One mistake, I could fall to my death and get bitten by a snake. Snake Island's more like fake island. I haven't seen any snakes yet. So if you want to see a snake, you've got to look for yellow. Worst comes worst, I get bit, I roll down there, hit my head open, and I'll be fine. Now I'm kind of staring into the abyss, guys. It's the last bit before the snakes. It looks crowded, it looks deadly, to be honest. At the same time, I love this. I know when I'm done after this, I'm gonna be smiling. If I'm live, that is, and I will get this done. And I'm kind of doing it for you guys, you know, the things you would do for social media, right? Now, even though this is quite steep,
he's just so like, he's so lovable. I'm sorry. There's like, I know I keep saying that, but the more I go through this, the more bad I feel that he is kidnapped, right? The more bad it feels, because not a lot of people, like, people know about Miles' story, but he only has 76,000 subs, right? He could be so much more. Rest in peace, Lord Miles. You're the bravest autist I've ever seen. Godspeed. If you perchance are still alive, I hope you bring us the most epic footage ever. Oh, man.
struggling in this armor. I'm gonna pull this one bit. Yep, seems like there's no snake. I can't see one. I'm gonna use it to pull myself up without getting bitten by the golden lancehead viper. Now again, to grab onto this, I'll make sure there's, actually that's quite loose.
Okay, it does see, he does make it up, so let's see.
I guess I'm going.
skipping ahead.
God help me. To grab it. I'm trapped.
You know, if you do this for fun, I guess at some point you gotta be a religious person, right? Because when you're on that island and there's a chance of death that is very high, what else are you gonna do aside from pray? You know? There has to be a higher power you can reach to. Because the alternative is that I'm just gonna fucking have the worst experience before I pass on to nothing. You know?
Oh, God help me. Wow, this is incredibly overgrown. My door's been smashed off. My heart. Oh, that's not as big, as impressive as I thought it would be. Guys, it's bad news. I can't hear my friend from walkie-talkie. Now this thing has 10-15 miles range, right? Can you hear me? Over. And they're not responding. And I know they're not out of battery, so I'm hoping the Coast Guard didn't get them. We'll be screwed otherwise. So anyway, guys, I'm exhausted, but there's something I've come to do. Guys, I've got this here, and I wish to put it on here. I want to nail it in. I want it to stay here, basically. This is a Catholic country. I'm a Catholic myself, a Christian, so it would be nice to put this on this island. I brought some nails.
Oh my
God. You guys
god.
gotta laugh at this,
Oh
but
my god. I
couldn't find...
come on. Like, you don't even have to be religious to admire the dedication that he has, right? I respect it just on the sheer level of commitment, right? Like,
a hammer on a Sunday. I could find a coconut. It seems high enough. So the right side of the entrance seems a great idea. Oh, I'm so thirsty, I could eat that. Oh, it has little things I could put it on. How annoying. I just want to say thank you to all the Brazilians that have helped me get this far. It's a lovely place, and thank you for letting me on your island. Well, I'm technically doing it illegally, but thank you for not prosecuting me. I understand a lot of you are watching this because you don't want to go to Snake Island yourself, because you're not stupid like me. I've got this little camera here, so what I'm doing is snapping a quick picture, wait for it to dry, as shown here. I'm going to number them, I'm going to sign them, and I'll show you what I'm going to do as well. But isn't that beautiful, guys? A little thing you can buy to help support me, or you could support my Patreon. Made it. I'll come back down. I should be an hour, guys. I'm very sorry about this. I should be an hour. Over. Coming. Fuck.
oh shit.
I will.
Oh god. Oh no. Oh no.
I need to take it off, guys. Yeah, like this. Gotta toss it somewhere. I have no leg protection. Oh god. Please, snakes. Please no snakes. Please no snakes. Walkie-talkie. Where's the walkie-talkie? Oh, never mind. It's in my bag for sure. Oh, this is terrible. Hey.
He curses. No, not my Lord Miles.
Not get killed. Keep a level head. Keep looking for snakes. Keep your head down. Keep walking fast. The Coast Guard is here. Over. I am. I'll be too long, man. I'll be too long. You've got to run.
He's taking off his leg weights.
Come back in a few hours.
He's like
please.
Rock Lee.
You won't be able to get me. I'm too far up. I'm struggling, man.
They were here around, but they are not anymore.
Okay, just act normal, and I'll tell you when I'm close. Over. Camera's running out of battery.
Act normal.
Walking
Yeah,
uphill,
okay.
It hurts. It cuts into my skin. I'm bleeding. I can see blood. I need to take them off. I'll take my chances. Everyone on the boat has run out of water. I've drank through my pretty much 2 liters in my bladder over here. I've got no armor on. I've got chaps at most. I'm still in the jungle in Snake Island. Please God, don't let these snakes I have barely seen bite me. In 1909, guys, in that lighthouse that I just ran away from, about 3 people died very unfortunately. So what happened was, there were people stationed at that
Homie
lighthouse
left his
because it
armor
wasn't
on
always
Snake
automated.
Island. In 50 years, some other crazy person is gonna think some conquistador got lost.
With those solar panels, the batteries and so on. It was actually manned by a gentleman, his wife and his daughter. Now it's a very small lighthouse of course, but that's where they lived. And in that situation, a snake snuck through a window. The window was left open by accident, rumour has it. The daughter was bit first and died. She was found in her bed in a pool of blood. The family, distraught, ran out, crying with their daughter, ran away from the lighthouse and got bit and they both died. And this is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm running away from the lighthouse and hopefully not getting bit. I might as well take some selfies here. Screw it, if I'm gonna get arrested, it'll be uploaded to iCloud anyway. Please no snakes.
What a guy. What a guy. Oh man, what a guy. Lord Miles seems like you know when they talk like this is the British guy you want to get a pint with, okay? Like he just is. I mean, he probably doesn't even drink, let's be real. He's that dedicated.
Please. No snakes, going fast, because potential snakes. Please, no snakes. Okay, no snakes. Ah, I see them. And they're alone, thank God. There they are, tending to fish. I made it. I made it. Autism be damned, this man can goof off. That's what I planned to say for when I made it. And guess what? I made it. Thank you guys, I'm almost there. Pick me up at the docks, over.
Right here, just by your side. It's okay. Just maneuvering. Over.
Thank you, over. And there they are, on the way to get me.
Vibes of that guy that was killed by the one try. I would travel with Miles because I feel like he's stupid enough that everything would be okay. You know, like he just has this weird like aura around him where things can all fall apart, but he's fine. So that's why I do hope he is actually alive.
Thank you.
I kind of believe in it now. I believe that he's alive. Before I thought he was dead, but now I believe he's alive.
Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. I guess I survived Snake Island, guys. I would like to thank the snakes for not seeing me, the Brazilian Coast Guard for having slow boat.
Mr. Magoo's you.
Tiny speck of...
It sucks that he's currently in Taliban custody. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's ever been hurting anyone or doing anything bad. He's alive because they probably like, oh, this guy's a harmless idiot. Well, either he's like a harmless idiot or there's something like I don't know, something different about him, right? Or he's involved with like something like there's a possibility that he's actually a Fed, right? And I hope he's not. I hope he's just some stupid guy. But who knows? Imagine he's won them over into us teaching him Arabic or something. He says that like the Taliban are nice. I don't believe that for a second, but maybe I don't know. This guy could be deep cover. That's the thing, right? Where feds kind of like embed themselves in social media culture now. So, like, who's to say him or somebody else isn't a Fed, right? I wish he had video footage of him at the fall of Kabul. That would have been amazing. But obviously, you know, he's currently with the Taliban. Look at his book. Ay. My violent captors are swell lads. I hope he's a secret John Wick type pretending to be an idiot. That would be so funny. I would really love that. They let me keep at least 3 of my fingers, so they aren't so bad. What the fuck is this? What? I discovered oil in Birmingham, England. Oh, man. British guys when they have a Muslim girlfriend. He's got really funny tweets. He joined the Taliban. Oh, man. Friends say I space out all the time. My mind is having visions of North Sentinel Island. No, Miles. No, Miles. Don't do it, Miles. Don't go to North Sentinel Island. You will die. Holy shit, that's so fucking funny. I hope. I really do hope that Miles is able to come back. I'm worried that if he's dead, it's gonna be like it took him forever to die. Like if he is dead, just let it be instant. Because I don't want Miles to be like suffering, okay? He's too lovable at that rate. Not that he should be suffering either. He should be alive. But that's where Miles is right now. I miss him dearly. I miss him dearly. And we need to get him back. Do you think the UK would even let him return to do his close ties to the group? No. Well, the thing is, the UK government is aware of him not being around. Or they're aware of him being captured by the Taliban. And they basically said he's kind of on his own. But I don't think they'd keep him from coming back to England. But to be honest, Miles is kind of like... He's so worldly and nomadic that he could go anywhere. He's like a golden retriever. That's a really good way to describe him. That is a very good way to describe him. The Taliban might find him lovable in a different way. Well, let's not say it like that. Let's not. Let's assume that they don't. Maybe one day I'll visit the most dangerous place in the world, Brooklyn. Let's see what else has happened in the news today, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let's see what else has happened. I have this video titled, "What This Horse Told Me in Heaven Will Melt Your Heart." And it's a little psychotic looking, so I'm kind of tempted to look at it. Don't let him go to the zoo. He'll get stuck in one of the enclosures. What is this new emoji feature? I see you guys sending that like sus emoji. Yeah, it's a little bit of a schizo detour. There we go. Here's a video. Pulled it up. Just took my sleep meds and saw the stream notification. Let's see how this turns out. God in heaven, Peter, the horse is here. All right, so this is from some evangelist channel. Sorry, Miles, if you see this stream. I hope Miles can understand the comedy of what this horse told me in heaven will melt your heart.
Hi, folks.
Hi.
Jim Whitford here.
Hi, Jim. Wait, James.
As I was telling you earlier, I was just absolutely engaged and thrilled with the beauty of heaven, the flowers, the hospitality of the angels, the incredible things that I was shown.
So you understand why this is like God, right?
And what was explained to me. And as we walked along this beautiful path, no wider than maybe 10 feet wide, with an angel on either side of me and the tall angel behind, they graciously answered every question that I had, and yet downloaded me with even more knowledge of the beauty and the mysteries of God's home.
Did he die? Well, apparently he might have had a near-death experience.
Spoke also earlier of how God, in his infinite mercy and compassion, when you make the departure from this world and enter his kingdom, he understands perfectly, as only a father can, what a huge transition it is for you. And so for me, it was being able to smell tapioca.
Heaven just sounds like Scandinavia. Yeah, it looks like it too, apparently.
That my grandmother would make for me. But then as we walked along this path, I was absolutely stunned to see what God had in store for me next. We came up to this beautiful split rail fence, and the angel to my right makes a motion with his hand, and I hear his voice, and he said, "James, look." I look across this pasture, and there are 3 of the most magnificent horses you could ever imagine. Horses in heaven. Of course, I had never studied the Bible or Scripture. I didn't know that it says that when Jesus comes back, he'll be riding a white horse. But suddenly, I had this feeling I was even more at home. There was another reason to be here, not just the tapioca.
Excuse me? Whoa, slow down. You're telling me there's tapioca pudding in heaven? You're telling me they have tapioca pudding in heaven? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. He had me until he said this happened a long time ago, and that the pudding part, right? The pudding part, you lost me, right?
There were horses in heaven. And as I stared at these in stunned amazement, the angel raised his hand, the horses looked up at him, he made a motion, and instantly they started to come across. And as they trotted across the beautiful green grass of heaven, with every step they took, as with every step I took, light sparkled out from their hooves as they came toward me. Oh, stunningly beautiful. And they came right up to the gate, and I'm just in awe. There was a beautiful white horse. Those of you that are of my vintage will remember the Lone Ranger's horse, Silver. It looked like silver. And then there was a beautiful bay, not unlike...
When I was a kid, my grandmother told me all they have to eat and drink in heaven is milk and honey, and I cried. If I had known it'd be tapioca, too.
Horses we've had in the past, and a beautiful palomino. And my wife has a palomino at home. Her name is Honey. And so I'm absolutely, as I say...
Of course it's a white horse. I'm not trying to call him an ethno-nationalist yet, but It did pass my mind.
Out of my mind with happiness, because this is something I can relate to. I can really understand. And the tall one came up and stared over the fence at me. And as I gazed into its shining eyes, I felt...
Here's a... Stay silent. Look, I'm Christian, but I'm going to ask, what are you smoking, dude? The thing is, right, so these, like, televangelist people, they're like mega church pastor types, right? So they're more interested in, like, getting the bread rather than actually caring about religion, right? They see it as a business. So he's profiteering right now, right? I look at it in a very uncharitable way, like that guy who has all the private jets type guy.
As though it was trying to communicate with me. It was trying to thank me for all the kindness that I had shown his kind on earth. And I couldn't resist. Once again, I put my hand forward through the rails and went to stroke the beautiful neck of this silver horse. And when I did, my hand went right into the silken light of its body. And again, when I pulled my hand back, that light tried to cling to my hand just as it had with the angel, until I withdrew my hand through the fence, and then the light let go and went back into the body of the horse.
Like, look at that watch he's wearing. That's a beautiful diver's watch right there. You know that shit's fucking expensive as hell. All right?
Once again, a shining, wonderful example of the sticky love of God.
You don't describe God's love as sticky. That's not. I am not even religious, and I take offense to that, I think. Okay.
I'm just amazed and so grateful. I'm looking at horses in heaven, and I'm looking around at the brilliant sky with no sun, the amazing flowers, the sense of peace, the sense of being at home. And as I'm looking around, I looked to my right up in the sky, and I saw something that I had never noticed before. You all know what contrails are. You see a jet go overhead on a sunny day, it's high in the atmosphere, and you can see the contrails. And I look, and these look like contrails going up through the skies of heaven. But unlike here, where we have the circumference of the earth, the contrails are always dipping to match the circumference. But these were going straight up, bright white arcs of light going straight up. And I'm mystified. I knew, or I didn't think, there were aircraft in heaven. But I'm looking at them, and remember, the angels could hear everything I thought. And I turned to the angel to my right, and I said, "What are those?" And there were 6 of them. "What are those?" And what he said brought me to tears. And it does to this day. Because remember, I said to you, I believe there are 6 words: God forgive me, God help me, and the prayers of my family, that are responsible for me being sent back, along with the will of Jesus. And as I looked
What did the horse say, James? I want to know what the horse said to you. Fucking, this is 28-minute video. I want to learn when the horse speaks.
Those streaks of, beautiful streaks flashing up in the skies of heaven, the angel turned to me with a look of love in those violet eyes. And he said, "Those, James, are the prayers of your family for your soul." The prayers of my...
Have you heard the good word about flat heaven, Diesel? Oh, no. I haven't.
Family for my soul. And I began to weep. And I found out later, after I had come back, and Lorraine and I tried to put the timeline together of what had happened, that in fact, when she had been told by the police that I had been found because I had died in my truck, but that it didn't look good, and that my body was being taken to the hospital to be triaged, that she and her sister Shelley, her husband Dave, and they are amazing prayer warriors. And I always thought, how can these nice people be so brainwashed to believe there's a heaven. But no matter what happened in their life, they always relied on the goodness of God or the belief that God would get them through. So there was Lorraine, her sister.
Where's all the B-roll? There was all this B-roll in the first half, and now it's just fucking James talking to me, man.
Tuesday, God didn't hear it. God doesn't care. We tell you this. Every prayer that you have ever uttered, every wish that you have prayed to God for is recorded and noted in heaven. And it is recorded and held in the halls of knowledge. Every prayer, along with every transgression, along with every act of kindness that you've done.
I'm going to have a lot of transgression in my record. I am not going to lie.
They monitor our lives, not to put us in a we gotcha moment, but they want to have everything in your life so that if you do have the possibility of getting to heaven, they do a life review with you.
That kind of feels, what's the word, Kafka-esque? Like, I just imagine being a scribe who has to write down every single, like, sin that somebody makes. Like, that sounds really bad, actually. Like,
and they have everything that you've done, wished you had done, wished you had not done, recorded. So prayer matters. Prayer matters. It matters always. But sadly, the angel said, mankind is losing the will and the ability to pray. When our grandparents and our ancestors, after a long, hard day of labor, what did they do? After the family was fed, they had eventide, where they sat around and they prayed together, or they read the Bible. Now, in our busy life,
you know, James is sending me, I don't want to be that guy who's like dog whistles, right? But I feel like I'm resting on the precipice of the other shoe dropping, you know what I mean? Heaven's just one big HR department. Scary.
What do? We get a few spare minutes, we text, or we call someone, or we watch TV. You must remember that those periods of calm and quiet that come into an increasingly busy life is God saying to you, my child, I give you these quiet moments to sit and speak with me. Tell me of your worries.
Oh, there you go. They put something on the screen finally.
And I will give you the peace.
I just want to know what the horse speaks, James. I've been clickbaited, bro.
Understanding. Look, I have nothing against texting or calling. I do it myself. I will tell you this. God does love a knee-mail.
A knee-mail. That was good. That was good. I'll give James that. That was a good one. That was a good one. I'll put respect on his name right there. That was a good joke. Can I get a youth pastor check from Windigoon on that one?
So send God all the emails you can. So I'm standing there so overwhelmed by the fact that my family loved me that much, they were praying for my return. And as I'm staring in disbelief at their prayers, I realized that I felt a tug on my sleeve, and I turned, and it was the 13-foot tall angel. Now, up to this point, he or she had not said much. And I say he or she because it was as though they were the best of both our genders.
Oh my God. Whoa, that's a hot one from him.
They had this gentleness of a female, but the strength of a male, and it was a most unique feeling. But
the angel was beyond gender. That's an interesting one, actually. That divine beings kind of like exceed gender conformity.
It doesn't really matter. They're creatures of God. But he said to me, James, look, and he offered his hand to me. And I took his hand, and as I did, he brought his other arm back, and this gigantic opening appeared. And suddenly we're above this opening looking down. And I realize that I am being given a glimpse of the holy city, the kingdom of heaven, the home of God and Jesus. And with the enhanced vision I told you about earlier, where I had peripheral vision and binocular and telephotic vision, I was able to look down at buildings and look around buildings and look between buildings. People say to me, "Did you see your family?" And no, I did not. But you see, I didn't know at that time that I wasn't staying. I had no idea. But it was explained to me that you pass through two veils. I had passed through the veil of death, but there's another veil before the gates of heaven. And you must go through that before you meet your family.
It's kind of like Dark Souls when you think about it.
I had not penetrated that veil. They knew I wasn't staying. I didn't know. But I'm just stunned because I'm looking down. Now, how do I begin to ask you to suspend the laws of physics?
Well, I want to know about the talking horse, but I have gotten through 12 minutes of you, and you have not gotten to the horse part, and that annoys me. Oh, man, and these comments are taking it very seriously. You know what? Good for you. I hope. Let me tell you a story, right? So when I went to Catholic school, guys. So you come out of Catholic school one of two ways, right? You either come out very religious or you come out not religious at all. I came out not religious at all because of things. I remember we would have a priest come in and he would tell us about the world, right? And the priest would say, he would answer questions about the world. And one day, the priest was asked questions about someone's pet who had died, right? And obviously, when you're 11, 12, and your pet dies, that's a really traumatic thing for a young person, right? And he said, very frankly, very curtly, that your pet didn't have a soul and thus cannot go to heaven. Now, I don't know who is and isn't allowed in heaven. Who am I to judge who's allowed in the club, right? But there's this idea of bedside manner. And when somebody is dealing with death, even the death of an animal, maybe do not tell that child that not only is it final, but that you'll never, ever see them again. That it hurts a kid, right? Because like I thought all dogs go to heaven.
We are all horses in God's beaten up horse trailer.
Yep. And we're just going to the big pony show in the sky, Eve. Right? So here's another priest thing, right? We were there, and the topic of the LGBTQ had come up, right? Because the current pope is considered a little bit of radical in the Catholic faith, right? Because he was talking about gay folk, right? The LGBTQ. He was talking about those individuals. And this priest was mad at the bureaucracy of the church, including the Pope, for their leniency towards people who are gay. And I shit you not, this priest went on a rant in front of us about how he was mad about how the Pope was cool with gay people. And he was telling us that we needed to remember that the gays are sick and that they need to be prayed for so they learn how sick they are. And that really stuck out to me. I was like, okay, that's something's weird about that, and how he talked about that. Because he was angry. You know when like an adult is angry, but they're trying to like really like kind of reel it in because they're in front of children, right? It was like that. And he was genuinely very upset about how the Pope would talk about this, which is probably not a good thing for a priest to do, right? So that was another one. Same priest. One of the teachers had a child out of wedlock. He had a rant to us one day about how you shouldn't have a child out of wedlock with the teacher there. He wasn't talking to her. He was talking about her in the third person without mentioning her name. She had left the room crying because of what he said, right? He was a fire and brimstone type priest, right? I went to an all-girls Catholic high school or Catholic school. Everyone left a bit gay, which is the opposite effect of what they wanted. How long has the current pope been in charge? A while. It's a post you serve until death. Right? What was another one? I'm trying to think. Oh, the tattoos one, right? We'd leave little notes, questions in a shoebox for him to answer. And somebody had wanted to get tattoos, right? But now we were about 14. He had explained that if you get a tattoo, and also he was one of those priests that actually believed like the stuff like if you eat shellfish, you'll go to hell and stuff like that. It's not like Christ preached compassion or anything. Right? So he would say how this was actually going to send you to hell if you got tattoos. Anyway, I got 3 tattoos. So I'll see you guys down there in the brimstone and fire, okay? Yeah, it had been a while that the new pope has been in charge. Are nuns as harsh as people say? Depends on what denomination of nun they are. Depends where they come from. My principal was a nun. And every time she would enter the room, we'd stand up at attention and we'd say, "Good morning, sister," and then her name. Damn, you know what the priest should do? He should get some paper, write his grievances down, and maybe, I don't know, nail it on the church door or the Pope's door, you know, like a Protestant. He wasn't an intellectual of a priest. He was honestly pretty bad. Because we had another priest before that who was actually really good and is actually a principal of a high school down in New York City. And he was just way better at talking to children and kids. And this guy was not that. He would have like really like ridiculous rants and it was super fucking bad. It was really weird. But yeah, that was my time at Catholic school. We wore really ugly outfits. All that. The nuns at my school used to hit my brother because he was left-handed, which is evil. That's really old school. That's really old school. Did you grow up in the U.S., Diesel? I find American Catholics are more rigid in their beliefs than Irish Catholics. Yeah. I went to American Catholic school. Yeah, he was very close-minded. He was not a religious scholar at all in any sense of the word. The priest we had before was a much better religious scholar. He put a lot of time and care and effort, and it's why, like, obviously we're joking about Mr. James and his fucking talking horses there. But I do have a lot of respect for religion. I really do enjoy it academically. I'm not religious, but I respect it and I honor it, right? The same way I'd honor people who are Muslim or Jewish or any other faith or denomination. I respect it. I'm not like a Reddit atheist, right? Because there's a lot to learn and there's a lot of beauty to it, right? But he was a really terrible educator of religion, and that definitely turned me away when I was young. But I mean, you know, we have like all the fucking stories from when I was in Catholic school. Let's see. We had a computer teacher who was a pedophile. Surprisingly, not a priest, but they did try to keep that under wraps. Let's see. You know who's fun? The Episcopalians. They're cool with the gays and shellfish. When I did stuff in the like child abuse and domestic violence, it was an Episcopalian church that would donate and host a Christmas dinner for all the impoverished families that were in the program with us. So I've met cool Episcopalians. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like very specific instances. There's so many. You know, I had like the ugly uniform. I was the only minority child in class. That was fun. I was the black friend until about 8th grade when we got our first black girl. And then I instantly became a white person because I was less brown than the other brown person. But you know what? I'm Spanish, so I got used to people deciding my color for me. What else? We would go every first Friday of the month. We would go to Mass, and we'd had half days of school then, right? So we'd go to Mass, we'd come back, and then we'd leave. And for the first 4 years of my education, we would do rosary. So what we do, if you've ever seen a rosary, it's like a little beaded necklace thing with a cross at the end. We would go through and we would hold the rosary, and then we would read off a prayer like the Hail Mary. We'd do that 10 times. And then at the end, we would do an Our Father, and then we'd stop. So what you're saying is you never had a come to God moment? No. I went to a school that taught priests. I went to like, it wasn't like a monastery because they don't do it like that anymore, I guess. It was a very beautiful Hogwarts-esque school. I met like friar monks there. It was very interesting. But I never had like a come to God moment. But it would be the first Friday of every month, or it would be like every holiday that we didn't get off. And then every morning, every single student in the school will go to the gym, and somebody would lead us in prayer. So about 400, 500 kids would all sit in a gym, and we'd all be in prayer. And we'd all do a prayer together in the morning. And then after we did the prayer, we did the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we went to class. I recall that I never became religious because I was in Sunday school and asked questions. They literally didn't answer me and said a lot of how they believed because it was faith. And I was like, huh? So what was interesting is that they did answer questions for us, right? And what they would do is they'd like work stuff. They'd be like, oh, well, the book of Genesis isn't literal, it's an allegory, which was like a revolution to hear, right? That's like considered pretty radical because it used to be considered to be taken literal. But they say, no, actually, God worked through evolution and God worked through science, right? So that way, when we learned science, it didn't interfere with our religion class. Diesel, why do you think religious institutions have so much of a pedo problem? Just curious of how common this is. I mean, it's the problem with any institution, right? When you have like centralized power like that, you're going to have people who abuse that power and privilege, right? So it's not just, I don't even think it's just specific to religious institutions. There's probably a lot of institutions that are not religious that also have that problem, or different similar problems, right? Think about how many celebrities or anybody like that who could commit tax fraud and all that stuff. But yeah, I like after Catholic school, I went from Catholic school from kindergarten, which is like 3, 4, right, to 8th grade, which is about 14, right? And then I went to public high school. Humongous change, culture shock extraordinaire. I missed out on pretty much all of early 2000s popular culture because of Catholic school, right? I didn't grow up with any of the early 2000s popular culture because of that. And I get to high school and I joined a football team and I'm like mad fat. But here I am, 14, 15, freshman in football. And I remember we were walking back from practice one day, and this one guy was lying, but he was talking about how he ate this girl's ass. And I was absolutely flabbergasted, right? I was flabbergasted that you could eat ass. Honestly, I'm surprised you found African-American Catholic. I find most African-Americans tend to be Baptist, myself included. Yeah, it tends to be that way, but there's I don't know, because like even okay, when you're Puerto Rican, you have some cousins that are white and you have some cousins that are just black. And then you have some people that are in the middle like me, right? And so generally in all of Latin culture, you're usually Catholic unless for some reason like my dad was Pentecostal. But that's definitely, yeah, it is a little rarer. But usually, like, from what I spoke with that girl, her family came from Africa after the father became educated in becoming a doctor, and then they just adopted it to better integrate with the community. So that was that. Good night, Simon. So you see, guys, we come in a range of colors. I got like a notification on the Discord. There we go. I will say, like, the born-again Christian masses, those are probably my favorite. You know, that's where they have all the cool music. But then usually mass goes on for, like, 4 hours. And I really struggled as like a teenager to sit through that. But I went because that's what my grandmother did. But I did all the stuff. I like got, you know, my baptism, communion, confirmation. I would do reconciliation. So that's like penance where you go into a room and you're like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been like a billion years since my last confession. And then they're like, okay, my child, tell me your sins. And then you tell them, I yelled at my mom, because you're like a kid, and that's all you do, right? But, yeah, I thought all of us black people were Christian or Jehovah's Witness. I have some Jehovah people in my family, and the Jehovah's in my family came to my grandmother's funeral, and we had some friends, because it was during the pandemic. We had some friends who are Asian, and they showed up on the Zoom thing for the fucking funeral, and my Jehovah family went over to them and were like, what are you, from Thailand or something? And it was like, no. And then they got up and they gave a speech about Jehovah, and it was very inappropriate. Who's the donut man? What's the donut man? Let me look that up. No. Who did I watch? Veggie Tales. Oh no. Why does everybody say oh no, that's right. I forgot there's a little bit of delay.
Something's
Is this the donut man?
What's my name? Dunkachino. It's a whole new game. Dunkachino. You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend.
That's not the donut man. That's not the donut man. Here's the donut man. Jesus shows us God's love. No, we never found out what the horse says. Why is do you all know what the Donut Man is except for me? I have no idea what this is. Is there a different Donut Man?
Oh, you got me. Oh, I must be a little sleepy from our last donut repair club meeting. It was great. You should have been there. We told stories and sang songs, and we even fixed donuts. It was great. But I guess that's why you're here then. Well, then let me introduce myself then. I'm the Donut Man, and this is the Donut Repair Club.
This is a little menacing, right? This is weird.
Like it? Good. Well, you're here to join? Well, perfect timing. We have a meeting scheduled for today. Let's see now. It's all about how Jesus shows God's love. Oh, I'm gonna call everybody right now. Yeah. Ooh, every time I do this, it just makes me feel how John the Baptist must have felt. Look, it's him, he's here, he's come.
35 minutes? Jesus. Jesus.
Come and meet God's only son. Now tell your mom, tell your dad, 'cause the love of God makes us glad. Behold.
Why is Joy Junction? I feel like I know what that is, but it's from some like Lost Media YouTube garbage rather than like actually seeing it.
Lamb of God, behold the Lamb of God, behold the Lamb of God, who takes away our sin. Look, it's him, he's here, he's come. Come and meet God's only son. Now go and run and...
Oh, okay. This is like an actual, like, this is going to sound like really stupid. Like, Diesel, why the fuck are you making this criticism of this? But like, why is all Christian media aimed at children, right? I feel like there's no good Christian media aimed at adults, right? Like, obviously, I think it's very easy to say that VeggieTales is like the best religious media adaptation because it's like a good show first and then religious second. But you know, you never see, like, all those dramas that are supposed to be like a reinterpretation of Jesus's life never commit to the seriousness of what's going on, right? They're always like faux serious. Like, they always don't stick the landing, right? The only time it's ever stuck the landing is like Passion of Christ, like Mel Gibson. And I get it, Mel Gibson is like an anti-Semite, but I want the commitment to the grittiness of the reality of what's going on. DreamWorks Prince of Egypt. That's another great example. And that one I would say anybody could enjoy. I'd enjoy the Prince of Egypt now. It's just a good movie.
Tell your friend.
No. I know indoctrination, right? They want to make sure that they keep people being religious all the way till adulthood. The best way to do it is to teach them young, right? But what I'm saying is if you want to fill your life with this stuff, then you should be able to get access to good versions of the thing that you fill your life with, you know? I am literally asking for good modern religious shows.
To meet the God who takes away our sin. Behold the Lamb of God. Behold the Lamb of God.
there ain't a single drop of melanin in that stage.
Behold the Lamb of God who takes away our sin.
Oh wait, no, they got the one token black girl. Oh man.
Behold the Lamb of God. Behold the Lamb of God. Behold the Lamb of God who takes away our sin. Come and behold. Come and behold. Come and behold.
Oh man. Don't worry, they got the one ethnic Asian girl that's there as well.
Who takes away our sin. Well, hi everybody. Oh, you made it in record time today.
Where's Duncan? Oh, he's still asleep. Shh. Duncan. Duncan. Duncan.
I feel like the Dunkin' Donuts Corporation might have something to say about this. Yeah, I just noticed they're entering the donut hole.
Yes, sir. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Oh, I'm still kind of glazed over.
There's so many bad jokes I could make.
Is it time for donut repair? Do we have lots of donuts to fix?
Yeah, Duncan, lots and lots. Yeah.
Have you heard of the Duggar family? What is the Duggar family?
Before we start, I want to introduce you to some new friends.
Where?
There.
Hi! Let's tell them what we're doing. Yeah. We're the Donut Repair Club, and we fix donuts.
But that's not all we do.
We like to...
Oh, this is good.
tell people about Jesus. He's the one who fills our empty hearts with his love.
Okay. Okay. Is a donut hole like a euphemism for your heart being filled with Jesus? Because this is a really bad euphemism, right? Like, we are aware of, like, what it like. 19 kids and counting. One of the brothers is a pedo. Oh, they had a show called Tick. Okay. Oh no.
Without Jesus, our lives would be empty and real sad.
Yeah, I need Jesus to fill my hole. I'm sorry. There's like a more than like 1% chance Lord Miles will see this. I'm so sorry.
I think this is where the almighty loaf is from.
The almighty loaf?
It might be okay for a while, then the truth will wipe away your smile. There's something sad inside me I cannot control. When I think about a donut, oh, life without God's love is like
The real question here, chat, is whether or not Mary Magdalene can throw it back, okay?
a donut, like a donut, like a donut. Life without God's love is like a donut, 'cause there's a hole in the middle of your heart.
Jesus fills my hole. He's such a handsome Latino man.
God's love is like a donut, like a donut, like a donut.
The donut euphemism here, this like explanation for like how God's love fills the hole, is like really not good. And I don't know if it's just like modern terminology that's aged this poorly, but even in the context of other Christian media at the time, this is like really not great.
Life without God's love is like a donut, 'cause there's a hole in the middle of your heart. It might
Like the older kids obviously understand the blocking here, but like the younger kids are just like, I'm just fucking running around.
be okay for a while, then the truth will wipe away your smile.
She is not happy.
Something sad
Just stone face talking about Jesus.
inside me I cannot control. When I think about a donut, oh, life without God's love is like a donut, like a donut, like a donut. Life without God's love is like a donut, 'cause there's a hole in the middle of your heart. Only Jesus' love can fill the missing part.
Those kids cannot stand still. Look.
My turn. My turn. We're going to be telling stories today about how the love of God fills our emptiness. Like this.
No. Yeah, I'm sure the dancing guy who's wearing fucking pink overalls filling a donut hole with a smaller donut and jamming it in there. There's so many like gay sex jokes that are just lined up for me. Oh man.
And with your help, we'll tell them in a way we won't forget. You ready?
Yeah!
Props. Talent. Then here goes. Our first story today that shows God's love to us is a story that Jesus told about a certain Jewish man who went on a journey. And he was attacked by robbers. Oh, that hurts.
These kids they're like, I have no fucking clue what's happening. There's a little guy in the back, he's just like, so he's just standing there.
And they left him on the road to die.
Okay, we've all heard this story of this parable before if you're Christian, right?
The almighty loaf is an old internet meme.
Ah. Understandable about the almighty loaf. Yeah, the Good Samaritan.
It wasn't one of his friends who came to help him. No. It was an enemy of his people. A Samaritan. I was beat up and left for dead. Blood running down my head. It was such a terrible scene. Those big bad robbers treated me mean.
That might be a bit of an understatement. If you're wondering he's okay, we can skip this part. What? You're telling me the Good Samaritan lives? I've never heard this story before.
By so grand, he even had a Bible in his hand. But the Good Samaritan brought his help my way.
I have this sudden urge to become a Roman legionary and subjugate the people of Israel. Let's see. Fuck. Give me some more Christian media, chat. This one is losing my attention at 7 minutes in. He stole Ned Flanders' drip. He does look like Ned Flanders. Definitely.
My way, the Good Samaritan brought his help.
I need some more cursed Christian media.
Brought it my way. Now the priest and the lawyer, they taught other people about the word of God.
Speaking of crazy/weird religious shows, ever hear of Tomorrow's Pioneers?
Tomorrow's Pioneers. Let's find out what that is. Oh, why is there... Oh, no, this is a Nick Crowley video. All right. Adventure of the Book of Virtues. What is this? Pioneers. Sure. Let's see. There's like There's a Some Ordinary Gamers video about this. Oh, Lord of the Flies clip. Reckless Ben infiltrates IRL cults. There's so many. Let's see Book of Virtues. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is like an animated one. All right. Bible stories. School edition of the Book of Virtues. Why can't I just get an episode? Why? Oh, Helen Keller. All right, so I'm definitely going to click on the Helen Keller one, but first I need to go use the toilet, so, you know.
Speaking of crazy / weird religious shows, ever hear of Tomorrow's Pioneers?
I'll be right back. It's a Muslim, not Christian. That's Tomorrow's Pioneers. Yeah, I was looking at that. Shit. Okay, I had a feeling. All right, let me be right back. Listen, if someone makes a public playlist and puts it in the media's chat, we can do a whole fuck off stream of like weird religious media, even more than just Christian stuff. Obviously, Christian resonates with a lot of people because if you're American, you're like, there's a good chance. I think the Helen Keller one is just about Tomorrow's Pioneer. Oh! Interesting. No wonder it's not on YouTube.
Tomorrow's Pioneers is a show made by Hamas, a Muslim terrorist organization from Palestine, to indoctrinate children.
Yeah. Not good. Not good.
I'll never forget you. W-A.
I went to Anne Frank's house last year, and it has Wi-Fi because it's a museum now. I don't know why that's funny.
T-E-R. Water. Come on, Helen. I know you can do this.
Why is this in a Bible show? Why is the Helen Keller thing in a Bible show? Are they saying that Helen Keller's like growth is directly related to that?
T-E-R. Water. W-A-T-E-R. D-O-L-L. No, not doll. This is water. W-A. Yes! Rock! Mr. and Mrs.
I used to
Keller!
watch this.
Arthur! T-R-E-E. Yes! He's free!
I feel like I've seen this before. I feel like I've seen this. Gaza Political Children's Show, February 26, 2008. This is from Al Jazeera.
Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin. This is children's broadcasting as produced by Hamas-run television in Gaza. But don't be fooled by the colourful scenery. Instead of songs and stories, the show serves up political ideology disguised as cuddly animals. The latest character to join the programme is Asud the rabbit, and he comes with a backstory. The young viewers are told that Asud entered Gaza from Egypt after Hamas knocked down the border wall in January. The wooden key he wears round his neck, he says, is the key of return to reclaim Jerusalem from the Zionists.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Educate our children about loyalty, love, understanding, and hard work, nothing more. We also teach them that we have lands stolen by the criminal Zionists.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the Joy Junction video. That's for sure. Oh my God.
Joy Junction's creator or the main star of it was outed as a pedo and necrophile. Nexpo talked about it in one of his videos.
5 nights at counterinsurgencies. Oh no.
The rabbit replaces Nahul the bee, who gets his fun from tormenting cats and from throwing stones at a caged lion. The children get to watch Nahul's antics for several minutes before the show delivers the moral of the story. Don't try this at home.
No
But
shit.
Nahul didn't leave the show because of his naughty behaviour. The young viewers are told that the cuddly bee died because the Israeli siege on Gaza prevented him from reaching a hospital.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God.
The overtly political message and the use of violence has made the show controversial. But the programme makers are unapologetic about how they approach their younger audience.
We want to have children involved with the channel, and we care about their reaction to our programs. So we have live shows to make sure that the message is relayed the way we intended.
Perhaps the most famous scene from the children's show, a Mickey Mouse look-alike being beaten to death by an Israeli. It could be a...
Oh my God. The Israelis are getting revenge on Mickey Mouse for Walt Disney being an anti-Semite. Oh, inspired writing.
A case of television imitating
Bafour.
life. After all, death and violence lurk around every corner in Gaza. But there are concerns both inside and outside Palestine about the long-term effects this will have on young minds.
Yeah,
Jackie Rowland.
I wonder what kind of effects it would have on young minds. Fafur is dead. Oh my God, it's an old clip from the Young Turks. Let's see. Hamas Mickey Mouse is martyred by the Israelis.
بديك الأمانة قبل ما أموت بتمنى إنك تحافظ عليها الأمانة هذه يا فرفور
وش الأمانة هذه يا جدي؟ قل لي
بنينا احنا الارض ايام ال 48. هذه الارض يا سيدي انا ورثتها من ابائي واجدادي، بتمنى انك تحافظ عليها. هذه الارض ارض جميله كلها مزروعه بالورد بالشجر الزيتون والنخل، بتمنى انك تحافظ عليها يا فرفور.
وش اسم هذه الأرض يا جدي؟
هذه الارض اسمها تل الربيع، اما لقيت يا خساره اليهود سموها تل أبيب بعد ما احتلوها واخذوها يا جدي. هذه الامانه بتمنى انك تحافظ عليها يا فرفور، وهذا المفتاح بيكون معك.
I mean, even if this is a children's show, like the level of complexity far, like, this is like getting into, you know, this is like literally trying to explain the Israeli-Palestine conflict to children from the perspective of the militants. Like, there's not a single fucking kids show in America that even broaches the topic of war.
لما ترجع للبلاد، لما ترجع للبلاد بتفتح فيها فرفور. انا فرفور.
هذا يا جدي المفتاح.
هذا المفتاح. هذه كمان اوراق تثبت كمان الارض إلنا فرفور. هذه امانه معك يا فرفور. اوعى تفرط بالارض ده فرفور. اوعى تفرط بالارض ده فرفور. أنا يا فرفور تعبان كتير. لا يا جدي. حاسس حالي بدي أموت. لا يا جدي.
Like talking about death in such a frank concept from an American perspective is like, this is very, very, like, insane.
لأني قريب من أرض الربيع.
If they waited a few years for Steamboat Willie to become open source, they could have used the real Mickey.
بتمنى يا جدي انك تحافظ عليها. انا جدي انا جدي انا جدي.
So he's gonna be martyred by, he's gonna be killed by the Israelis in the next scene. Look at that! Look at that! This would scare the shit out of me as a child. But, you know, I have a friend who lives in Africa, so the violence she's seen in her life far outweighs anything that could be in a show like this. From the filth of the criminal plundering Jews. Diesel, do you think there's shows like this for the Russia-Ukraine conflict? I was going to show something about this after that. Or about that after this. Are they about to show like an okay, I was really worried they were going to show an actual explosion. Fafur is interrogated. I find their caricature of Mickey Mouse to be culturally insensitive and triggering.
سمعنا فرفور انه سيدك اعطاك مفاتيح الارض والوراق. مين قال لك هذا الكلام؟ انت ما إلك مين قال فرفور، لكن المطلوب فرفور. طيب وإيش المطلوب هلقت مني؟ المطلوب فرفور انه تعطينا اوراق الارض. اوراق الارض اللي جدي اعطاني اياهم امانه عشان احافظ عليهم وعشان احرر فيهم القدس وحرر لما تتحرر.
They are laying it on thick. You know, like, some propaganda is subtle, but these guys are just like, listen, we're gonna take it and we're gonna take it back. Like, it's very straightforward. I'm sorry. You know what? I'd beat Fafur to death too. He sounds really fucking annoying. Okay, I just want to see them beat Fafur.
نعم أحبابنا الأطفال
We have lost our dearest friend
أعز صديق
Fafur.
لنا فرفور. لقد استشهد فرفور وهو يدافع عن أرضه، يدافع عن أرض آبائه وأجداده. استشهد على أيدي المجرمين القتلة، قتلة الأطفال الأبرياء، وقتلت إيمان حجة، قتلت محمد الدرة وغيرهم الكثير.
Ain't that interesting? Funny that. All right. So, yeah, let's do some about the Russo-Ukraine war. Diesel, you skipped over to beatdown. I was running out of attention span with fucking the annoying Babby voice. Okay. F in the chat for F4. Can we get some 07s in the chat for F4? He died. He was martyred defending his homeland. If I wasn't on a list before, I sure am now. So there's been like these weird. Oh, No Fuckers even did a video on it. But yeah, like Z children, right? Because what they've been doing is trying to indoctrinate the younger kids, right, into. Hold on, let's try and find a fucking video on it. It's not another YouTuber. I don't want to take anything away from a YouTuber who like works on their shit.
Which is featured prominently on Russia's military equipment in Ukraine and has become an emblem of.
Let's see. Hold on. I want to see what channel this is. I want to see if they have a political payout person. These guys kind of smell like they're owned by somebody, but I'm just going to play it. Diesel has now been listed.
А помните Аню Науменко? Она здесь сейчас хочет сказать важные слова. Анечка.
System. Welcome to Red Watch TV, your
It's like some
vigilant
bot
observer of
channel.
authoritarian regimes around the world. Today we look towards a historical and present-day issue of concern,
protect you, I'm
the
the government.
manipulation of educational systems for propaganda purposes, a practice that is unfortunately not a new phenomenon. In Soviet times, schools played
Sure,
a
we'll just
significant
watch it.
role in state propaganda.
It's hard to get stuff directly from Russia right now, considering the weird blackouts or like media not being allowed in certain places.
Education systems geared to instill a certain worldview. The ultimate goal was to create an obedient
Right, so here we go.
Since the beginning of Russia's aggression towards Ukraine, an unsettling shift has been observed in the content disseminated within Russian schools.
Look at this shit.
From September
Scary.
1st, an additional weekly lesson called Talking About the Important was introduced, serving as a platform for teachers to discuss the goals of the war in Ukraine with children. This seemingly innocuous addition to the curriculum appears to be a well-orchestrated part of the Kremlin's broader strategy of shaping public opinion and garnering support for its actions in Ukraine. The Kremlin has gone so far as to inject symbols of war into classroom activities, a clear testament to the government's
Axis,
attempt
I see
to
you also watched the Task and Purpose video. I watched that one as well.
normalize the conflict and foster unquestioning patriotism. The letter Z, which is featured prominently on Russia's military equipment in Ukraine and has become an emblem of support back home, is now becoming a part of classroom lessons.
Look
Images
at
of
that.
elementary school students
Holy
forming this symbol
shit.
are a sobering representation of the extent of the government's manipulation of the education system. In classrooms stretching from the country's urban centers to its rural fringes, images and posts
These
of
kids are like 6, 7 years old, and they're dressed up in like Soviet era garb. This reminds me of Jojo Rabbit. Same same thing, different time period, which was real. That was the Hitler Youth.
Begun to flood Russian social media, showing school children, some as young as kindergartners, attending patriotic lessons. These children are being guided to pose for pictures, forming Z and V for victory signs, symbols that are loaded with implications of the ongoing conflict. But the indoctrination goes beyond symbolic gestures. Education Minister Sergei Kravtsov openly described schools as central to Moscow's fight to win the information and psychological war.
Rennie's back. Hello, I'm back. How's the stream been? We've gone so off the rails, Rennie.
War against the West. Under this banner, a series of government-produced lessons, such as Defenders of Peace, have been rolled out, echoing Putin's justifications for the Ukraine.
Look at that. Look at that. These are little babies, bro, and they're being like I know everybody talks about like America is indoctrinating kids because they do the Pledge of Allegiance. This doesn't happen in American schools, okay? We don't dress up as little soldiers and go on fucking marches, okay? It doesn't happen. This is way beyond that, all right? This is a concerted effort to talk about and make these kids into nationalists, okay? Yeah, Rennie, I was going to raid your stream earlier, but yeah, apparently I don't have the ability to do it. It didn't let me, so I just ended up streaming for longer.
Ukraine invasion. This re-engineering of education serves a dual purpose: to ensure the younger generation is brought up under a cloud of state-sponsored
North Korea moment. Yeah, this is a North Korea moment. I mean, hey, man, those kids are driving T-34s, which at this rate are going to be on the field in Ukraine eventually. So, I grew up in a post-9/11 school system. I was born in 2000. Trust me, we didn't get indoctrinated like this. Listen, my first day of pre-K was 9/11. All right? And it was never like this. Like, obviously, there was, like, a discussion about it, but there was never, like, we're going to talk about how great the American military is class. That's what these classes are like, where they sit down and talk about how amazing their military is, which they're not, by the way. They're really bad. The Russian military sucks. They suck. Have you seen the Russian army training cartoons? I was going to pull that up. Russian. Let's see. Okay. So the Russian military needs to train their military in order to fight, right? In the trenches in Ukraine. But I'm going to play these and you're going to be like, wow, this is weird. This kind of reminds me of something.
Лучше устать, чем оказаться застигнутым врасплох. Делай окоп глубже, а его стены прочнее. Усиливай их бревнами. Не откладывай на потом. Оборудуй в окопе боковые ниши, если не хочешь получить посылку от вражеского беспилотника. Не жди, что за тебя все сделает кто-то другой. Сам заботься о себе и боевых товарищах. На подходе к окопу незаметно разложи пластиковые бутылки.
I don't know why that's like
Азбука СВО. Простые советы, которые помогут
All right,
вернуться
we're not going to
домой.
understand what's happening here, but we're gonna, you know, be able to parse it out a little bit.
Целым и невредимым. Сегодня ты узнаешь,
Are these cartoons recent? Yes. These cartoons are like really recent and they're inspired by the game Fallout.
правильно действовать при огневом контакте. Тренируйся выстрелить первым.
So obviously they have like the Ukrainian soldier with the SS symbol, despite the fact that the leadership in Wagner, which are in a bit of a weird spot right now, right? Later, Eve, thank you for stopping by. But you know, he's dressed up like a SS officer.
Будь всегда начеку. Это в тире мишень не уворачивается и не
And
открывает
they have the fucking mask in here.
ответный огонь. В бою у тебя будет только 1 секунда, чтобы поразить противника. За это время лучше сделать 2 выстрела, чем прицеливаться 1 раз. Через секунду прячься в укрытие. Если ты не Дэдпул, не нужно
See, so now they have fucking Deadpool fighting the mask.
за легковой машиной. Она
Of
простреливает
which, by the way, Deadpool would not be fighting on the side of the Russians. It just wouldn't happen.
на вылет. Частично защищает только передняя часть, где расположен двигатель.
So they're
Упражняйся
saying to make sure to use your head when you're talking about cover, so you want to hide behind the engine block and not the body of the car.
в стрельбе из-за угла не только с упором в правое, но и в левое плечо. Противник знает, как тебе удобнее, и попытается обойти укрытие против часовой стрелки. Всегда будь готов сменить позицию. Скорость в бою зачастую важнее меткости. А первым умирает тот,
This owns actually, yeah.
кто медленно бегает. Азбука СВО. Простые советы, которые помогут вернуться домой целым и невредимым. Сегодня ты узнаешь секреты обращения с личным оружием, ведя огонь по
Imagine sitting in Russian barracks watching this shit. Like it's World War II.
вспышке. Выноси точку прицеливания на полфигуры вправо. Скорее всего, твой противник правша. Используй дульный тормоз закрытого типа. Банка на конце ствола снижает заметность. Никогда не снимай с шеи ремень автомата. Потеряв оружие из легкого 300-го, ты гарантированно превратишься в грустного 200-го.
Oh, yeah, they're explaining the purpose of why you always want to make sure you have your gun attached to you with the. Oh my god.
Не прищуривай один глаз. Целься двумя. Смотри на мир шире и увидишь больше.
Bugs Bunny show up. I love how even in these cartoons they're still portraying the Ukrainians as neo-Nazis. That's so fucking interesting. They're really trying to hammer that home. I don't know how much longer that's really gonna stand up, considering the recent coup from or mutiny or whatever the fuck they want to call it, with Yevgeny Prigozhin. Like there's only so long the Nazi argument is gonna work.
И на ощупь в бою идеальных условий не будет. Начинай заряжать с нескольких трассирующих патронов. Они ярко светятся в полете. И пустой магазин не станет для тебя неожиданностью. Ведь последним смеется тот, у кого остались патроны. Азбука СВО. Простые советы, которые помогут вернуться домой целым и невредимым. Сегодня ты узнаешь, как правильно штурмовать здание. Главное в этом деле не экономить гранату. Добравшись до нужного адреса, ставьте дымы на основном и отвлекающем направлениях. Противник должен запутаться в твоих планах. Помещение заходите
The other ones are
вдвоем.
pretty easy to understand, but I'm having trouble understanding what this one's about.
Сначала граната.
It's like how to use a
Потом
grenade and understanding how they work.
Закатывай ее по полу, иначе может отскочить обратно. Не пытайся вырвать чеку зубами. Вставлять их будет на...
Yeah, don't pull a grenade with your teeth. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Grenades aren't like the movies. You need like 5 pounds of pressure in order to pull a grenade pin. So if you did that, you would actually break your teeth. That's 100% real. So, you know, obviously be careful. If you happen to be somebody who pulls a grenade pin in your life, I know none of us are that person.
Смет твоего батальона. Не выдергивая чеки, закатывай в помещение вторую гранату. Уцелевшие после взрыва упадут на пол, спрятав голову руками. Возьмешь живыми. При движении по лестнице перемещайся вдоль стен. Иначе тебя увидят с верхних этажей. Не
They're
прижимайся.
explaining how stairs you don't have as much vision in order to shoot up when you're going down as the person who has they have better vision shooting down at you.
Перилом. И помни, все вокруг может быть заминировано. Без крайней необходимости избегай контактов с любыми предметами.
Rip your teeth, but I'm different. I'm built different. I can do it. So, what is it? Rushaboos or Rusaboos, right? These guys are really fucking ridiculous, right? They constantly talk about how USA recruitment ads are like bad, and they gauge the effectiveness of a military fighting force based on the like the recruitment videos that get put out. We've all seen if you're American, you've seen these, right? U.S. Army, go blah blah blah, or Marines go where people don't, blah blah blah, all the shit like that, right? You've seen them. You've seen them. You know what they look like, all that shit, right? And when I was streaming on Twitch, I've also done some propaganda streams before, where you sit down and look at this Russian propaganda. But right now, Rusaboos who support Russia and the Russia-Ukraine war, they put forth the argument that Russian recruitment ads are more masculine, ergo their military is better than the West, despite the fact that despite being the second most powerful military on Earth, they're getting destroyed by people who drive fucking tractors. Right? So here's one. This is from Paint to Trump, right? So this is probably one of those ads that's like targeting women or like LGBTQ to join the military and stuff like that, right? To increase numbers in the U.S. military. But we'll watch this. Woo, propaganda for the military-industrial complex. Let's see. There we go. We'll pull up these. American military recruitment video.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems.
So this is clearly aimed at young girls, right? This ad is aimed at young girls.
It begins in California with a little girl raised by two moms.
Right, so they're saying that on the basis of this soldier being raised by lesbians, they can't use a Patriot missile defense system, which is so fucking ridiculous.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women. But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life, a sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved on my own? One of my sorority sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures.
Which military
my
bit
own
is
challenge.
Worse, though? I would personally say that this one's a little long in the tooth, and I don't think it really hits the mark of that. Like, it's trying to do too much, right? Like, this recruitment ad is obviously trying to target women, but they're also trying to target, like, the LGBTQ and all that, right? They're trying to target a lot of people with one ad, right? Space those things out. Like, you're the military. You can afford it.
And after meeting with an army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
Right? So that's the U.S. one, right? So it's clearly not aimed at, like, a dude, right? But you got to understand that Russia has a different kind of culture and society. It's not considered culturally normal for women to join the military there. So they're only going to be pulling from men in Russia, right? They're not going to do that. Don't judge me, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it either. I just think it could be better. Like, it's trying to do too much. As a homosexual myself, I am indifferent and unmoved.
Первый день твоей новой жизни.
This is the first day of your new life. What was yesterday means nothing.
Oh my god, this guy literally did fucking voiceover on it. Oh my god, that's annoying. Hold on, I'll go find it. Russian recruitment video. Let's see, it's somewhere in here. There's a couple of them. God, there's so many. One man, one jar. Excuse me. Why is that showing up in my recommended search? Oh my god. It might be this one. Yeah, it's this one.
Это первый день твоей новой жизни. То, что было вчера, не имеет значения. То, кем ты был прежде, уже никого не волнует.
You know what I find funny in this Russian recruitment ad? They're wearing American shoes.
Имеет значение. То, кем ты был прежде, уже никого не
Yeah, they're wearing
волнует.
Nike.
Теперь важно то, кем ты будешь сегодня. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь потом спокойно спать? Узнать себя, познать границы своих возможностей. К черту границы. Ты готов ломать себя до изнеможения. Каждый день. Здесь боль закаляет. Шрамы, повседневность. Это ты решил себе что-то доказать. Командир здесь только для того, чтобы ты...
So imagine how much copium you have to be huffing in order to be like, well, this military is better because their ads are better. That's fucking bonkers.
Мог увидеть в нем врага, потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле, главный враг — это ты. Вчерашний ты. Твоя задача — выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад победителем. Потому что завтра первый день твоей новой жизни.
So because their military recruitment ad is better, they're winning. I want to paint them blue and make a Russian blue man group. Right? But some of these are getting like pretty ridiculous, right? Because they get paid for going into the service, right? In Russia. They're not really getting paid. A lot of them end up not getting paid. They're targeting the ads for like, oh, do you have gambling debt? Join the military. Do you need to fund your parents' alcoholism? Join the military. Stuff like that. Yeah, America also has those kind of ads too, but they're saying that the military went woke, right? And because the military went woke, they're saying, oh, actually the military's bad because it's woke now. That's not a lot of weight. That was mean. I am technically part of the military-industrial complex. That's okay. That's super based. Can we watch the entire Bulgarian Treasure Planet movie on stream? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it. Guys, I almost said this game. This ad is so cool. Don't you want to join the Russian military? Like, hold on. If you're a guy who gets on Twitter and you're like, I'm going to defend the Russian military, go join. Go fucking join. Go see what it's like, all right? Listen, I might be Johnny Armchair General. Wait, go back. We need to see that bench press again. I'm sorry. Russia ain't winning any wars if they're benching... What is this? What is this? That's like 2.5 on the bar. This is like 60 pounds max right now that he's benching. I want to play this game. Like, bruh. But if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna get onto the internet, right? You're like just go join, go do it, see what happens, right? You think you're Johnny Armchair General? Go ahead, go fucking out there, go sign up with the Russian MOD, and then go serve their military in Ukraine. Okay, see what happens. the stupid Emma and her two moms ad has gotten so much shit. You know which? Hold on. This one, U.S. Army game ad. Right. Well, Diesel, this is impressive to all the barely 18-year-old men who they've drafted. Yeah, well, they'll only be able to lift that much weight because they'll have no rations. Hold on. So this is the U.S. military's ad that I thought was like super egregious when it was on. I thought it was super inappropriate. It's like video game themed, right? So it like labels all of these jobs in the military as classes in a game, which is insane. I will say this is probably a better ad than the Emma one, right? This is this diversity, there's men and women, and it's showing that it's a lot more than just shooting gun. See, but it treats it like a fucking video game. Like, that's fucking weird. They did a lot of it's just like gaming ads, and I want to say around 2007. Yeah, but this was from last year. That's the weird part. Yeah, Barely Sociable has a good video on it. On the appealing to gamers thing. It does look like a PlayStation ad. Yeah. It's just it's one of those weird things, you know? But I found it so funny that people are like judging it based on who has the best ads. But yeah, that's enough detours from this stream today. Remember when we were talking about Lord Miles? That was a good time. Anyway, I am going to go rest my weary head. I feel suddenly enthusiastic about war, I think. But yeah, it was a good stream. Lots to cover. I'm sure this will make a funny haha. Yeah, military shooters have warped people's idea of conflict. They don't realize that it's actually a small dot so far away you can't even see it that can dome you and kill you instantly. But yeah, that's it for now. Night night. Kate, you stayed up way too late. Get to bed.